Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a very special edition of the JP Peterson Show because we are in our makeshift studio here.
We are
in South Tampa, where obviously lighting is not arrived yet.
No lights yet.
So I'm silhouette. You kind of sound like not direct.
I do sound bad, don't I? Why do I?
Now you do. Now you sound good.
I know, but I'm eating the microphone.
Yeah. Well, don't do that. Yes, welcome into this makeshift edition of the JP Peterson Show. So the good news is we have a new beautiful space here in South Tampa, overlooking beautiful South Howard Street here. Famous 717 restaurant under renovations right across.
Right.
Beautiful at the corner of Swan and Howard. So we are relocating and love this space. Thanks to the Jeeves Law Group, our title sponsor, and now also our home here in South Tampa. That's pretty cool. So we've carved out a nice space here, and we will be coming to you most every day from our beautiful studio here as we continue
I won't
to ramp
be.
things
I'll still
up.
be in Dallas. Why
Yes.
does my microphone sound like this?
IndyCar Tim is here with me, and we're figuring out the microphones and everything else. So just bear with us here as we go through.
Check.
It's a little better. That's a little better.
Why does it sound like that?
Well, you're going to have to eat the microphone
I
today.
might have to do a microphone change.
Okay, we might do that at the first break or during the show, whichever
Producing on the fly.
during the monologue, if you choose to do so, we can do that as well. Our terrific Tuesday will continue with the dulcet tones of the great Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report that will join us at 10:30. We will also hear from the great Brian Bradley, who we were watching the game with. That was me. Cut me off. Stamkos return, which was quite the show last night, which we'll get into that, take a little bit behind the scenes on what was going on last night at Amalie Arena. Big win for the Lightning. So we'll talk to Brian Bradley at 11 o'clock. And the great TJ Rives will join us as well at 11:40 to talk some Buccaneers, what he saw on that fateful Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons that may have cost.
I think I fixed it.
You fixed it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah, sounds good. Yes. Yeah, so big show for you. If you guys want to jump in, obviously the comment section is open. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on Twitter as well. So hit us up there and become part of the show. We'd love to get your take on all things Tampa Bay sports. Might hit the World Series as well. A dream matchup, Timmy, that has turned into a complete dud.
Not a dud for me.
Especially if you're a Yankees fan. You hate the Yankees. Well,
Everyone hates the Yankees,
everyone
right?
hates- yes, they're the evil empire, of course.
Yes.
Yes, we hate the Yankees.
They're the Red Wings of the 90s.
Yes. So, but it's not like, the beloved Dodgers.
No, they're the lesser of two evils, though.
Yes.
For me.
I would agree with that.
For me.
I would agree with that. Plus, we have a little bit of connection there with Andrew Friedman, the general manager, that has done such a wonderful job since leaving the Rays. When given some actual payroll to work with, it's amazing what they can do. And by the way, the Rays still have no home, and time is ticking. Time is ticking to find out exactly what they're going to do.
It's going to be March before you know it.
Yeah. I still believe it's going to be Steinbrenner Field, but because that makes the most sense, and from what I've learned from the TSA folks, there are no major impediments to doing so. Mm-hmm. You could share that stadium with the Tampa Tarpons, who play 70 home games there. Mm-hmm. That's, it's a logistical problem, but not insurmountable. So it can be done. You can obviously relocate that team, but a lot of this is going to come with some expense for Stu Sternberg, which of course he does not like to endeavor into any expenses at all.
No, not if it costs him money, he's out.
By the way, the new ownership group who just took over the Lightning in terms of their stake in the team, not controlling interest. Jeff Finnick will control that team for the next 3 years and do a gradual handoff. But the new owners, Ostover and Lipschultz, I believe, is I should get that right, but I'm not reading it from the press release right now. Should screw up my new owners' names. My apologies, but I think we got that. Anyway, the point is, having an allergy attack here. Violent here.
New studio.
Yes, new studio, new air. Excuse me. Added another $1 million. Okay,
Bless
we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
It was only one though. Normally it's 10. Which you guys probably would like to see, wouldn't you? Want to see my head explode?
Make a short out of it.
So
Go viral.
they added another $1 million. So now the total contribution from the Lightning organization is up to $4 million for hurricane relief.
Wow.
$4 million.
That's almost their payroll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a raise.
Hockey, yeah.
That's a raise.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's a raise. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, little hurricane update there, and
Nice.
appreciate the.
By the way, I was shocked, as Johnny and I got in town Monday. Yes, I guess that was yesterday. And driving through town, just seeing still the effects of the hurricane, on every street corner, and as there's still fallen trees, there's still
Piles
debris,
and piles, yeah.
piles and piles of debris and garbage that have yet to be picked up, I guess, by the city. We drove by Ray J and Steinbrenner yesterday as we went over to Kerr's Wing House for a little bit, right there
The
by
old
the stadium.
Kerr's Wing House.
Yeah, right.
Now just the Wing House.
Yeah, right by the stadium, and drove around for a little bit as I got to familiarize myself with Tampa.
Yeah. And what'd you think?
Endearing myself to the city a little bit here. It was great, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see myself living here,
It's paradise, bro.
and I've already got like
Except when we have the
girlfriends
hurricanes
out
come
of
through.
Well, I'll just go back to Dallas when there's a hurricane.
How was the night at the patio last night?
It was really good. Shout out to Jennifer, my future ex-wife. Went really well. I don't know, man. She's 30. She doesn't drink, and she doesn't own a TV. I don't know, man. And she's
That seems like,
and she's from
that
Cape
doesn't seem
Cod.
like a wow. That's just not a match.
Yeah.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, but
I know,
that's
but
just,
she was hot.
that's
Like,
not, well, you might have to go a little bit deeper than that. I don't know.
oh, you know me. I don't go deep.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, but
Okay.
I need my rim shot. I don't have my board. I don't have my board.
Yeah, you need your board all set up. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna get into some Buccaneers today. We'll do some Lightning, obviously, and then some Rays talks as well. We'll get to everything, some college football. So sit back and relax and enjoy this horrible silhouette shot that I got going here. It probably looked better though.
It doesn't look bad.
Probably you don't think so?
No.
It looks horrible, but that's okay. We'll get all the lights.
I mean, I'll be
figured out.
honest. It doesn't look a lot different from when you're at the house.
The beautifully lit, perfectly
the
set
lighting's
up
not great at your house either.
studio. Oh come on!
It's not
It's a
great.
beautiful thing.
Well, you're a beautiful thing. but-
All right, so last night was at Amalie Arena was quite special, no question about it. With Steven Stamkos returning, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff was kind of interesting, and obviously Stammer came in, did some media earlier in the day, talked about how his kids have already flipped. They were easy,
Yep.
not a whole lot of loyalty. They sent the mascot over to the house. And some gifts and T-shirt, jerseys and everything. So smart move by the front office and the Predators. For when you bring in the big star, make sure you get to the kids and the wife first to make sure they get acclimated. That was a smooth move. So that was executed quite perfectly. And then Stammer now, just being on the ice in that other uniform was jarring for me. It was just jarring to see.
I was wondering.
And
about
then the first period came, the first TV timeout, and immediately it was weird because normally in TV timeouts, especially the first one, the coaches are working the grease board hard. They're trying to get the matchups that they want, and it's a lot of adjustment in the first part of the game. But as soon as that TV timeout came out, you look down at the benches and everybody's looking up at the board, just looking up at the board. They know what's coming, and so all eyes were trained on the tribute video, and of course, my friends at the Lightning Vision, my colleagues, nailed it as they always do. Absolutely, really well
Did
done.
you get a little teary-eyed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you go back to they take it back to the 18-year-old kid, the Steen Stamkos in 2008 when he was drafted. Yep. And I was there. I was there at the press conference, and when we first saw the baby-faced kid, it's like seeing Stamkos. I'm like, yeah, I seen him. He looks like my paper boy.
Yeah.
This is the savior of the franchise. And, of course, that's the way they all look when they come in, right? Vinny LeCavalier, all of them, just you're jarred again by, like, wow, they're so young. Yeah. There's so much on their shoulders. Like, how are they going to handle this?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bananas. And at least in Stamkos' case, there were still players here. And, he wasn't like it was, it was great. We got the first overall pick, and Steven Stamkos is going to be a good player. But it wasn't like, a Caleb Williams type moment, where it's just the entire organization is on your shoulders. It's more of like, we'll bring you along, and, and then all the things that come with it, the 2 Rocket Richard trophies, the 60-goal season, and then, of course, captaining this team to the Stanley Cup. We've kind of talked about this and, how he matured into such a great leader, and he did. And things weren't always super smooth with John Cooper. I think that's why this team has been so successful, by the way, because while they have a great trusting relationship with John Cooper, it's not always, honky-dory, and nor should it be, and if you're going to be a successful hockey team, there's going to be moments of conflict and drama and motivation, and, you keep the drama to a minimum, but the professionalism of both John Cooper and Steven Stamkos obviously was a bigger priority than any, other that those type of things that sometimes coaches, that will play favorites and maybe not see things as objective as they should. That's never been a problem with John Cooper. And sometimes, you can ruffle some feathers, but to me, that's a positive work relationship, as long as you keep it professional and that everyone's out for the same goal. And they obviously did that perfectly in winning 2 Stanley Cups and being the most successful franchise since John Cooper took over. I mean, let's not forget this. He captained this team to more wins since 2014, 2013 than any team in the NHL, and Stanley Cups as well, and finals, et cetera. So his legacy is secure, obviously. So to see him on that other side was a little jarring.
Yeah.
The tribute was great, and he went out, and the ovation was probably, Coop was asking last night, how long was the ovation? I would say about a minute and a half. That would be my my guesstimate, about a minute and a half, and it seemed really long, and longer than there's ever been any other one. The thing that I've never witnessed at Amalie Arena is the home team chanting an opposing player's name.
Yeah.
Steven Stamkos. Like, even when, everybody else came back, Marty, Vinny, I mean, all the reunions we've had, I've never seen that.
Right.
Cheering at opposing teams' names. So that was different. So it was pretty cool. And then, the Lightning go up 2-0 on 2 filthy goals, by the way. And they believe they have a third, but Kucherov was deemed to be offsides. Didn't have complete control of the puck, I guess, is what they said as he backed into the zone. So that one comes off the board. And then you get 2 Nashville goals, of which Stamkos was a part of both. Had an assist on the first one and the primary assist on the second one. So now you're 2-2, and you're like, what the F? We had this game won at 3-0. We were about to lock it down. So, credit the Lightning for doing a complete mood shift. And the second period was, as some of their second periods have been in the last couple of years, a disaster. Outchanced 13-4, outshot 13-4. You just got drubbed in that second period. Now, I've seen the Lightning team of last year continue to spiral in these situations and lose the game. They did not do that. They turned it around completely in the third. They dominated play and zone time in the third to the point where it was ridiculous how many goals Soros thwarted and how many chippies the Lightning just couldn't get into the back of the net. I mean, they were swarming. Geeky had opportunities. Gensel had opportunities. Sorelli had a golden opportunity. I mean, all these guys are just, and you're like, my God, when are we finally going to get one past Soros? Couldn't do it. Could not do it. And so you go to overtime, and then they win the puck in overtime, and you can't get off the ice. Kucherov, Hedman, I think Pointer, they couldn't get off the ice because Nashville's playing keep away, which I hate in this 3-on-3. Let's get a shot clock. Let's get a rule where you can't willingly back out of the O zone and just keep control of the puck, because that's what they do now is they just keep control, wear down the defense, try and keep them out there and get a goal.
And that's why they wanted 3-on-3.
Right, to go up and down the ice.
Yeah,
to
keep it quick.
Yeah, so let's, And at first, of course, it was, fantastic. First 3-on-3 that ever happened was in Amalie Arena.
Yeah.
And Jason Garrison got the goal, and it was up and down the ice, and it was crazy. And for a year, 2 years, it was fantastic. 3-on-3 is the greatest thing we've ever seen. And then the coaches got involved.
Yeah.
And why don't we slow this down and we'll wear out the other team? Oh, great. That's exciting. That's exciting. We'll just skate around in our back end until we get them tired, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what we meant. That's not what we want here. So anyway, the Lightning do get the puck back, and then 3 careless passes, they give it right back. And then Nick Paul comes on the ice and says, I want to go home. I'm tired of all this nonsense.
He said, hey, y'all, watch this.
Yeah, and he grabbed the puck back twice, and then Gensel with a great feed, who's just become this incredible playmaker for the Lightning, and Nick Paul puts it in the back of the net, and we all go home happy. Great tribute to Stamkos. He gets involved, almost wins the game. I thought he was going to win it in overtime. But no, we'd rather win. Nick Paul, okay, everybody drives safe, and we're all happy. Yep. It's the perfect script to the Stamkos return. He has a nice night, but the Bolts win, and there we go.
2 assists.
Yeah,
right?
2 assists for Stammer, second star. He played well, and he had not played well heretofore. Right. He was a -6 coming into the game with only 1 goal.
Yeah.
So I think it was a great night.
I'm sure being at home, gave him a little extra motivation. There's no question. Yeah. Seeing the tribute, and it was nice seeing him out on the ice by himself.
Yeah.
And all of the players giving him the stick tap, and the fans going nuts. As I mentioned, we were at the patio last night watching it, along with Monday Night Football and the World Series, and then they had some random Columbus Blue Jackets game on another TV. For some reason, I was trying to keep up with that too, because I love hockey. But it was cool when I looked up and saw him out on the ice by himself. I don't know how emotionally how you go from that to focusing on playing a game. I can't understand that level of mental fortitude, to come from that moment to put yourself back in the game, to play the game, and with your new teammates, in front of your old teammates, in front of your old home crowd. Like emotionally, I'd be a train wreck, man. I don't have that capacity.
Well, in talking to Brian Emblom, who went through, he said obviously not something to this magnitude, but he was traded as well. And then you're coming back to where you'd won Stanley Cups in Montreal. He said it wasn't fun.
Yeah,
it was wrong. Everything was wrong about it, and he didn't enjoy it. And I'm thinking about that for Stamkos, and everybody's like, "Oh man, it must be awesome coming back." No, it's not. No, it's not at all. I mean, if you really, really think about it, right? It's like, I mean, first of all, I never wanted to be traded.
Right.
Number one. So that sucks. And then number two, everything's wrong. Everything's backwards. I mean, how could you possibly get comfortable? Everybody, wants to come up and say something, and you have to be nice, right? And like, oh yes, I miss it. Yep. Same conversation you have with the 70,000, and everybody wants to say hi, and everybody wants to be cordial, and I'm sure there was a level of enjoyment, but I think for the most part, that's probably just got to suck.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm sure. Like I said, I can't understand that level of mental fortitude to separate yourself and the game, and just all of the history there with him. I mean, he grew up there in that arena.
Yeah.
I mean, basically he did his entire professional career he spent at home in that arena.
Yeah.
And
half of his life.
Yeah, and now
his kids were born here. I mean, his entire adult life has been here in Tampa Bay.
And now you're wearing the other colors. You're in the other locker room. Like, that had to be weird, right?
Yeah.
Going into that locker room. But man, kudos again. It was the perfect night for everyone because he had a good night. The Rays win in dramatic fashion, kind of.
Yeah, Bolts win. Yeah,
or Bolts. Yeah, and so it's like. After the goal was disallowed to go up 3-0 a couple minutes into the second, it's really easy to use that and to get down on it and not give up. But give up's the wrong word, but to sort of lose focus. Like, holy crap! I've seen that before with my Dallas Stars when they're not as mentally tough as they should be on the ice when stuff like that happens. But again, perfect night for Stamkos and his return, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I wish I could have been in the arena, JP. I'm just kidding. No, actually, we had a really good time out and about, and like I said,
I'm embarrassed by that. To be quite honest,
shut up. It's fine. Yeah. It was fine. We actually we had a really good time. Like I said, bar hopping, got to meet some chicks, got a couple of digits, and
it was probably more fun.
Now I got a reason to come back.
Yeah, but there you go. There you go.
For my wedding.
You could have a wedding before I
Wait,
do.
does Jeeves do divorces? I may need to.
No, Mark does, though.
Mark does?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
Mark handles the family law.
There we go.
Mark does family and criminal, and then
Gotcha.
Scott does the other stuff. So,
Gotcha. Well, I may need to retain Mark then before I start dating.
You still married?
No, I mean in anticipation.
Get your prenup done.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
to save your millions.
I need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll take our first quick break. When we come back, we will talk to said Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report about all things Buccaneers. We are presented in our Jeeves Law Group studio here today for the first time, our Jeeves Law Group studio. How does that sound?
That's awesome.
Sounds awesome,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Yes. Big thanks to Scott Jeeves and Mark to set us up here. It's pretty cool stuff. And, of course, if you need any legal advice whatsoever, you need to hire an attorney, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Scott Jeeves is a terrific attorney. He can hear me in the back right now as I speak
Probably
and do
can,
this
yeah.
live read. And an awesome dude. So any questions you have, maybe about the hurricane or insurance, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back at 3 with Scott Reynolds.
We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the J.P. Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Boy, this sounds good in the new studio.
Cool,
sounds crisp, yes. My lighting's a little better as well, as is yours. So we're tweaking it. And we'll get it all down pat when we get everything in here. Behind me is going to be some really sweet monitors. We're going to have 4 or 5 different cameras here in the studio, so I'm looking forward to it.
All the angles.
Brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Lawgroup.com, the Jeeves Law Group studio. And Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com for your health 3.0. Find the modern way to do things. Keep yourself healthy instead of just going to the doctor when you're sick. How about a doctor that keeps you healthy? That's a good idea.
I feel like when I go to the doctor, I get sick.
Yeah, well, you go to the hospital, you're going to get sick.
That's true.
The doctor told me, he said, you want to die? Go to the hospital. They'll kill you.
I hate hospitals. God, I hate hospitals.
Yeah. No, you should, and you should now. Stay away as if you can.
Yes.
All right, let's talk some Buccaneers with our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report, the Bible on all things Buccaneers. What's up, Scotty? How are you?
Or you can go to a Bucs game. That'll kill you, too.
I don't have the
Right?
shot.
Hey, the result is not what we wanted.
No.
But that was one hell of a party.
It
I went
was.
down there. I went down there at halftime to
Yeah.
where the ship is to see some friends, and boy, there was a lot of people. You could barely move around. Those people were well lubricated. Everybody was in their creamsicle, and they were having fun. And it was a hell of a football game. It's not the result.
It was
wanted.
a good game. It was
It was a
entertaining.
fun game to watch.
It was.
You got to agree with. There was a party going on right here.
There was. It was fun. And, fun watching Kyle Pitts on National Tight End Day score 2 touchdowns, and Falcons get up. Halftime scored 24 points in the first
Otten
half.
had one too, right? Otten had one.
Yeah, 2.
They did a great job last night. Except for the end result. And
I mean, it's fun watching Kirk Cousins throw for 8 touchdowns and 1 interception against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But in anybody else versus any other team, he's thrown 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
why does he love this Todd Bowles defense so much? I mean, what quarterback would not? It's
exactly.
Soft coverage and no pass rush. Okay. I think I can work with this. Thank you,
Sweet
Todd.
dreams are made of these. I mean,
Todd Bowles is going to get Kirk Cousins into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, indeed.
Single-handedly.
Can we play the Bucs every week? Says
I think
Todd.
the dream scenario for Atlanta is to win the NFC South and then have to play Tampa in Atlanta in the wild card game. Like that's like their dream scenario right now. It's like
Well, right now, that might be a dream for the Bucs too, just to make the playoffs as a wild card team.
that would be a dream. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I think every Buccaneer fan would, well, maybe not, would want another shot at the Falcons. I mean, they easily could have won both games. We can say that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't shoot themselves in the foot both places.
Right.
Then they could have won both games. I mean, stop Plaxico bursting yourself and shooting yourself, and maybe you can get out of your own way here. I mean, that's
an antiquated reference,
wasn't it though? That was nice. How I fit that right in.
That's very good.
I think very illustrative. I might say, right?
Speaking of antiquated, can I make an unpopular opinion on your show?
Please do.
Can we bury the creamsicles? Like,
Thank
can we
you.
just end it?
Thank you. How long have I been saying this?
Listen, here's the thing. Okay, we have to make a bet, right? Like just everybody communally has to make a bet. Brian Ford, who I think picks out the uniforms for the team to wear with approval of Jason Light and Todd Bowles and the Blazers, they have to for the creamsicle game next year. Make that be the home game against the Carolina Panthers. Okay. Like that has to be the game.
Why, you want to lose to the Panthers now?
Listen to me. There's no other option on the schedule outside of the Panthers. Because if you can't beat the 2025 Panthers, and they're going to be bad again next year, if you can't beat them in the creamsicle uniforms, then the creamsicle curse is real. And you need to bury those uniforms for 10 years. You need to get rid of them, burn them, lock them away. I don't care, but we need to not see them. Okay, and I know it's an unpopular opinion because everyone's buying the merch and feeling the 70s vibes. It's getting played out, to be honest, in my opinion. Is that the reason why they lost? Absolutely not. But this team has had more wins in red and pewter than they've ever had in orange and white, going back to the 70s, the 80s, the
That's
90s,
right.
up until 96 when the last year they won. And then these last 5 creamsicle games that they've lost. The only time they've won in the throwback uniforms, it was Josh Freeman connecting with Sammy Stroughter on 4th down to upset Aaron Rodgers and get Raheem Morris one of his 3 wins that year. Okay.
Josh Freeman to Sammy Stroughter. Wow, look at you.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like.
Listen, I'm with you. I've said this forever.
You know what?
I mean, I love the look of them.
Yeah, if you beat the Panthers next year, then fine. There's no such thing as a creamsicle curse. They just had bad luck of the draw against the Lions, against the Falcons. These last 2 years, and then we'll carry on. But by God, man, if you can't beat the Carolina Panthers next year, then the jerseys, the uniforms, it needs to go. It needs to go back in the chest, the treasure chest, and buried at sea.
I agree.
Well, maybe instead of burying the creamsicles, why don't we just pick better games for them to wear them in?
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Exactly. Like
well,
Carolina.
It's not like the Falcons are a juggernaut.
Division rival, though, anything can happen. I'm not going to wear them against a division rival. I don't care. Well, except the Panthers.
Yeah, wear them against the Panthers. They'll probably be the worst team on the schedule next year.
Right.
That'll be the best test case that you could probably. So we could finally prove our point. Here's the problem. I believe the curse is real. And I believe there is an actual mental, I don't know what you would call it, something deep in the recesses of your subconscious. When you see that creamsicle, you just go, oh, it's so beautiful. And I want to run around in this beautiful creamsicle soft color. I don't want to hit anybody, and I can't tackle anybody.
Pet Cemetery by Stephen King, or seen the movies, like when it's buried,
my favorite Stephen King movie.
Yeah. Me too, right? When it's buried, it's supposed to stay buried. When you dig it up, like, that's not good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on this 100%. Yeah. Now, I will say, those boots and pom-poms that the cheerleaders, their outfits, you can keep that.
I agree.
That's outstanding.
Those
big pom-poms on, I mean, all cheerleaders should have big pom-poms.
All women should have big pom-poms. That's all I'm saying.
It's like, no, don't go there, guys.
Look, we can get rid of the creamsicles, but can we keep Bucko Bruce at least, like in some capacity?
No.
But can we make him not be winking? I still don't know why he's winking.
He's a winking pirate.
What is he
nothing
winking
says
at?
Nothing says badass dog football like a winking pirate.
We need Bucko Bruce and we
creamsicle.
Need Pat the Patriot. Way more. We need both of those things back in the league.
Maybe some other league, but not the NFL.
No,
thank you. So with all that being said, I thought the offense had a good day for the most part. And I know people are going to get pissed off at Baker's interceptions, but he's also been leading the league in touchdowns. And when you have a defense that is this bad, you got to take chances. You got to take chances. And I'm sorry. Listen, I don't like those throws as much as you guys. I mean, I don't like them either. But the first one, listen.
Jesse Bates. Who picked it off? Jesse Bates.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, this year, the best safety in the NFC South.
Yeah.
Just is. Sorry, Antoine, but you're not making plays. Jesse Bates is. He forced a fumble, and fumble recovered, and then he had an interception. Right? I mean, I'm not sure what's happening with Winfield, if the foot's still bothering him or what. I have no idea what Jordan Whitehead is doing on the field at any point in time.
Yeah,
He's
he is just
absolutely awful football. And here's the damning thing about the Buccaneers defense, especially down the middle of the field, center field, right?
Yep.
That's the weakness. Those 4 players playing center field, both safeties, Winfield, Whitehead, Levante David, the inside linebacker, and KJ Britt, the other inside linebacker. 3 out of those 4 have been in this Todd Bowles defense at least 4 years and have a Super Bowl ring. KJ Britt has been in this defense for 4 years, most of it behind the scenes, but he is now a starting linebacker, and he's not very good. He's like the worst inside linebacker in the NFL. And Levante David is showing his age. Father Time is on the hunt for him and is tracking him down. He is not the guy that he used to be. And this, in my opinion, this is his last year in the league. And I'm not saying that with any pleasure or anything. It hurts me to say that because I love Levante David. He's an absolute legend. Father Time is undefeated in the NFL. I saw this happen with Derek Brooks. Seeing it now with Levante David. It's going to happen to Mike Evans. It's going to happen to Chris Godwin. It's going to happen to Baker Mayfield. It's going to happen to Tristan Wirfs. All your favorite Buccaneers. Father Time will catch them. He catches everyone. And this is the time. And unfortunately, right now, inside linebacker is probably the worst position on the field for Tampa Bay. You can look at the tackles and say, okay, KJ had like 10 tackles. That's because the Falcons threw the ball 13 times in the second half. Kirk Cousins had 9 pass attempts in the second half. They sat on the 24 points that they scored. They only scored one more touchdown in the entire game. They sat on it and ran the ball. They ran the ball for over 100 yards in the second half. Kirk threw the ball 9 times. He scrambled once. God, that was awful. and he got sacked twice. That's it. They didn't even throw the ball in the second half. How do I know this? Because I had 2 hell of a prop bets on Kirk Cousins. Hitting 300 and 325, and he didn't do it. And that's okay. I'm not like rooting for Kirk Cousins to have success. But if he's going to, at least, fill my pockets. But, the tackles were great, but the coverage from these linebackers is atrocious. The coverage from the safeties is atrocious. We have a video on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, that Josh Capo broke down and analyzed. It's the first Kyle Pitts touchdown. They started with a bunch formation to the right side, which is the Buccaneers' left side, and they motioned Drake London across to create a 2x2. On this side, you've got Kyle Pitts as the inside receiver. You've got Ray McLeod on the outside. You've got Drake London as the inside receiver and Darnell Mooney on the outside. You should have 3-over-2 and 3-over-2. For whatever reason, Whitehead and Izzian both motion across to London's side. Now you have 4-on-2. You have Whitehead, Winfield, Tyreek Funderburk, and Christian Izzian all covering Darnell Mooney and Drake London.
Right.
That leaves Kyle Pitts one-on-one, and it shouldn't have been. I think Whitehead should have been over the top. I asked Bowles about this yesterday in the Zoom call. Was there a bust? He said, yes, there was a coverage bust. That was the bust. Whitehead decided to jump the inside dig route by Drake London, and he left the worst pass defender on the field on that play, Kayvon Merriweather, one-on-one against a first-round tight end. And it was easy pitch and catch, and it wasn't even Kirk Cousins' first read.
No.
The first read was Drake
Merriweather
London.
fell down, but still there was nobody over the top.
Nobody over
should have been there.
And credit to Zach Robinson, he's like, okay, well, we know that Zion McCollum is the left cornerback in Todd Bowles' defense. He does not match personnel. Zion's the left, and Jamel Dean is the right. When Jamel's not in there, it's Tyreek Funderburk, and it's, I think, going to be Josh Hayes from now on. I think they're done with Funderburk, thankfully. But credit Zach Robinson, rookie play caller, for saying, how can I take away the best cornerback on the field? I'm going to stick my worst receiver, Ray McLeod, on him. He can cover the worst. I mean, that's
exactly
great. That's great personnel deployment. And it's astonishing to me how the Falcons offensively are average at best against every other team. 14 points against Seattle, 10 points against Pittsburgh, 22 against the Eagles. They in the game they came back to win. They're an average offense, but by God, they played Todd Bowles' defense, and it's like everybody's a Pro Bowler, and they just
Scott, and then you know this, and that's why this is so damning on Todd Bowles. This is so damning on him because you've already played him once. You didn't make any adjustments, or not. There's certainly no adjustments that worked.
Right,
and I will look at those all those other,
but no adjustments that worked. Yes,
right. So. And I will look at those other teams you just mentioned, and I'm going to say, would they have significantly better personnel on defense than the Bucs? No.
Right.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying the Bucs defensive personnel is all world, but it's better than 31st in the league or 32nd in the league. I think you've got a, at least you're paying Winfield more than any other safety, right? I mean, you've got, and to your point, Levante David is not necessarily what he's been throughout his career. But you've got Vita Vea, who's a Pro Bowler. You got a lot of first-round draft picks and second-round draft picks invested in your defensive line.
Yeah.
Again, it's not all-star personnel, but it's not terrible either.
Correct.
And this falls on the head coach, who's also the defensive play caller. And Rick Stroud asked him yesterday, is he thinking about giving up play calling duties? And he dismissed that out of hand with no explanation.
Well, he shouldn't. I don't have any faith that Larry Foote could do a better job.
No, I don't either.
I really don't. I think Todd Bowles is the best guy for the job. But at the end of the day, your job,
be better.
Yeah, you got to be better. Your job as a coordinator, even though he's co-defensive coordinators are Larry Foote and Casey Rogers. You're the play caller. You're the de facto coordinator when you're the play caller, right? So as the coordinator, your job is to do two things: put your players in the best position to win and succeed, and teach them, coach them to do the right thing once they're put in those positions.
Right.
And I'm not trying to defend Todd Bowles, but it's like when you've got a veteran like Whitehead that obviously makes a coverage bust, I don't think, and if this is the case, then he should be fired right now. I don't think Todd Bowles, who knows defense way more than I do, thinks it's a good idea to deploy 4 defensive backs.
That's a bust. That's
against
a bust.
2 and leave 2 against 2, especially Merriweather against Pitts. That is an obvious mismatch. I don't believe that's how they drew it up. So if that's the case, you have to ask yourself, why is Whitehead making such a boneheaded error? This is year 4 for him in Todd Bowles' defense, right?
Yeah.
Or actually, it's year 5, really, because he was here as a rookie. So, but in terms of playing in this defense, so I don't know. And that shouldn't happen. But the mistakes are happening from the veterans. I mean, Tyreek Funderburk made his mistakes. He, played the ball wrong and took a bad angle on the Pitts, thing. So he got benched. That's fine. But are you going to bench Whitehead? Are you going to bench Winfield? Are you going to bench Levante? Are you going to bench? You should bench Brits. But these are the veterans. These are the guys that shouldn't be doing what's happening, and they are. And I think that's the most befuddling thing to Todd Bowles is it's like he can't look at this and say, well, this guy's new to the system or he's a rookie, doesn't know any better. It's like these are the veterans that are screwing this up.
So to me, that's even more an indictment on the coaching staff. And here's the thing, and I saw this with John Gruden. And listen, you can know a lot about football and you can come up with great game plans, but if those game plans are too complex and in a lot of situations you're asking your players to read on the fly because you want to have the most versatile defense that you can have. You want to have an answer to anything that the offense is going to put out there. And here's your answer. It's like, if you see this, this is what you should do. If you see this, this is what you should do. But sometimes, the miscommunication, we've heard that word. What is the one he used this week? Lack of focus or what? Concentration. Not enough, concentration was the key word this week. Yeah. And so, what's happening is the guys aren't thinking the way they should. He expects them to think. Well, when this happens, what do coaches do? They dumb it down. They have to dumb it down, and you need to do that.
Yeah.
Keep it simple and ask your players to go execute on their abilities, because every defense is supposed to work, right?
The KISS way of coaching allows you to play faster, right?
Right.
And here's 2 examples. Number 1, what Monty Kiffin did back in the day of the Tampa 2, and I'm not recommending that Todd Bowles go to a Tampa 2. I'm not saying that at all. But back when the Tampa 2 was the foremost defense in the NFL in the 90s and into the early 2000s, before it got figured out, before all the 2-beaters came around, you have to evolve. You have to adapt or die in the NFL. That's why John Gruden's West Coast offense, you can't run it anymore. You can't run the Tampa 2 as a base defense. Lovie Smith figured that out the hard way, right?
Yep.
Bruce Arians' vertical attack, I mean, no one's running that anymore. Mm-hmm. Once they figure you out, once there's the blueprint, you've got to adapt or die. It's that simple. All good things have an expiration date. And I think we're seeing the expiration date of Todd Bowles' cover 3
defense,
fire zone defense. And here's my point. What made Monty Kiffin's Tampa 2 defense successful was, yes, they had great players, but that base defense was called, I don't have Ronde Barbie here to consult with, or John Lynch. I'm going to say 75% of the time. They were in that base defense. Why was it so successful? Well, you can say great talent. Okay, fine. But that's all they did. When you rep that in practice 80% of the time and you play it in the game 75, 80% of the time, you're going to master it. Like you're not thinking, you're playing because you're playing base defense.
That's right.
And I saw this firsthand back when I coached Pop Warner. One of the years our head coach got tossed. He was the defensive coordinator, got kicked out of the league. All of a sudden, I was defensive line coach. I got graduated up to defensive coordinator. First thing I did was strip down the playbook. I said, we're going to be in base defense 80% of the time. We're going to put in wrinkles. We'll have a couple of wrinkles for certain looks, but we're going to play base defense. And I took our playbook, cut it in half, and made a couple of tweaks and changes.
Yeah.
And our defense became one of the best in the league really quickly. And coaching does matter. Scheme does matter. It really does. We had some good talent, but it was kind of getting wasted because I saw firsthand. Right. At any level, Pop Warner, high school, college, pro, football is football. And if you're playing slow, bad shit's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, if you play
absolutely.
Fast, good stuff's going to happen. And so I do think that Todd Bowles, who is a savant when it comes to defense, I think maybe sometimes too cerebral for his own good.
Exactly.
And when you've got veterans screwing up like this, that might be the clarion call to dial it back.
Yeah, I agree. And I've seen it done before and work before. So there's precedent for this.
Yeah.
And then this goes to his game management, which, of course, I have a bigger problem with. And I think it reared its ugly head in the Mike Evans and Chris Godwin situations because it reared its ugly head in the fake punt situation, the flea flicker. And that's not just on Bowles. That's on Liam Cohen as well, coaching in general.
I will say with the flea flicker, and this is really tough, and I'm not trying to give Bowles a pass, but they got the look they wanted initially, and literally right before the snap, for whatever reason, after the Falcons sniffed it out and saw it, or they just were misaligned to begin with, they shifted right, like literally a second before the snap.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, the call was already made, and they did not have time to abort the call and switch it out. It was like Falcon shift, ball snapped, and bad luck.
That happened. I'm all for aggressive plays, and I like the varied stuff with the flea flicker, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm not going to rip the decisions.
The flea flicker is fine, but that doesn't mean Baker has to throw it.
Exactly. Chuck it down like you did before and hit Sean Tucker in the flat. You might have a touchdown like you did.
And I thought the flea flicker went too fast. They didn't really give the defense time to bite on it,
right?
Because it was an immediate handoff pitch toss.
That's true. That's a very good point, Tim. It really is, yes, because
you got to sell it.
You got to sell it. You literally have to go into the line, bang up against the backside of your guard, and then turn around and throw it. So that's a very good, astute point.
It's like when Tim was at the patio last night. He hooks him in with the media. With the media mogul, gets him in, and he works the storyline really, really good. You can't just throw out "I'm a media mogul" and then just go for it. You gotta marinate the story for a couple of hours, and then.
I mean, I didn't immediately walk in and say, "Dude, you're at my table. Do you know who I am?" I had to sell it first.
You got to sell it first, right?
I've never been here, but that's my table.
Yeah, exactly. So that's you got to sell, and they didn't. But the problem is, all of these decisions that he's making. And you can debate the decision. They're not working. They're not working. Like, Mike had a bad hamstring all week. Well, let's play him. Oh, he just hurt himself in the first quarter. Well, let's keep playing him and keep running go routes because that'll end well. Stupid. That's ridiculous. That is coaching malpractice. I got a 99.9% chance of losing this game with 6 minutes to go and 3 minutes to go and a minute 30 to go, but I still have my starters in there as the Ravens defenders are sitting back taking pot shots at all my receivers as I throw the ball down the field. I mean, let's throw the ball. Yeah, let's keep Chris Godwin in there. Oops, he's out for the year. I have a humongous problem with both of those decisions. And all of these decisions are backfiring on him. And again, you can debate them, but when they all turn out horrible, who's responsible? The guy making the decisions. That's just the way it is. And right now, he is not on a good run in game management. And I still don't think you can call plays and be a great game manager. And right now, that's the way it looks for Todd Bowles. He's not doing a good job at either one of them.
Yeah, I agree. I really don't have anything else to add. I think Liam Cohen, if you would have told me before the game, either one of you, if you would have said, all right, I've looked into the crystal ball, here's the stat sheet. All right, it's got everything but the final score. And I'm going to tell you that Liam Cohen's offense outgains the Falcons, puts up 432 yards of offense. They run the ball 102 yards. Baker has 3 touchdowns, but he also has 2 interceptions, but he's completing 74% of his passes without Mike or Chris. Oh, and by the way, they convert 65% of their third downs. Okay.
That should be a dub.
That should be a dub. Just based upon the stats you gave me. I don't have to see what the defense has done. I've looked Kirk Cousins, whatever. Just based upon that, if you say, let's make a bet, I'm going to say, holy crap, the Bucs win this game.
Yep.
You know? Oh, and by the way, put up 24 out of the 26 points. You just give me the Buccaneers score. And I'm going to say, I'll take that. I will take that. And here's the bet. Here's the keys to the house and all that stuff. Now, I wouldn't bet my house on Todd Bowles' defense. Of course I wouldn't. I'm just kidding, guys. But I would put money down for sure. I would. But, and as Todd Bowles said after the game, 26 points should have been enough. And it should have been. And Liam Cohen did his job. Should he have used Sean Tucker more? Sure. Was the flea flicker, executed properly? Should they have bailed on that call? I don't know. We can nitpick it all day.
Check it down.
But when you put up that many points, run the ball successfully, when they know you're going to run it too, when you complete 74% of your passes and you don't have your top 2 targets, I can't complain about Liam Cohen. I really can't.
No, you can't. No, the offense I thought played fantastic.
I want to see more Sean Tucker. I want to see less of Trey Palmer. I want to see more of Raheem Jarrett. I think Raheem Jarrett is somebody I would invest touches and targets in. I would make him one of the top 3 receivers. I look at the production. I'm a results-based guy. I understand the process is also important. I'm not necessarily trumping results over process. Process is a good thing, but process should lead to favorable results, right? It's kind of like pressures or sacks. I'd rather have sacks.
Part of the process is getting the right people in there that are producing. That's part of the good process.
So I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I want more Sean Tucker and I want more Raheem Jarrett. And if I got to whittle some guys snaps down, I'm going to do that. I want speed and playmakers on the field. But I don't have Mike and Chris. I want some weapons out there. And I think that those 2 guys, Tucker and Raheem Jarrett, should be more featured in the next game against Kansas City. And I'll say this, dude. I wasn't crazy about when Liam Cohen decided to put Sean Tucker into the game. I remember talking to Bailey Adams in the press box next to me. All of a sudden, here comes Tucker out for his series.
Right.
And they're backed up inside their own 5-yard line. And I'm like, ugh. He's the worst pass protecting guy out of the 3. And it's like one holding call in the end zone on Tucker, and that's a safety. I'm like, what are you doing? I would have preferred to have seen Bucky Irving in there because it's a tell that you're going to run, right? And I'm not surprised he got 3 yards on 2 carries because it's a tell, right? You're going to try to run the ball out of the shadow of your own goal line. So I didn't like that. Maybe the thinking was Tucker's the fastest back. Maybe he can rip off a 10-yarder. Now all of a sudden we're in business. We're not.
It's probably just it's his turn, so I got to put him in there, and that's not a reason to substitute.
Like I don't like that at all. I can't stand that. I can't stand when it's 3rd down and it's Anthony Nelson and Chris Braswell, and I'm like, "Where's Yaya Diaby? Oh, it wasn't his turn." Like that's
or a 4th down and 1, and there's no Vita Vea.
Yes, exactly. I don't get that.
What are we doing?
Back in my day, JP, you'll remember this being in Tampa. You had Rod Marinelli. He was the Bucs defensive line coach. That son of a gun only played 5 defensive linemen.
Yeah.
You had 4 starters. And when one of them was too tired, you took him out and you put Tyoka Jackson in. Tyoka Jackson could play nose tackle, defensive tackle. He could play defensive end. He was the
Grandpa,
only
you have a
guy
great memory.
that came in the game.
Kind of sounds like Rod Marinelli.
When you got rid of Tyoka Jackson, you brought in Ellis Wims. And then when one of your 4 starters was out, you put in Ellis Wims at nose, at 3-tech, at defensive end.
And it's like, I remember talking to Warren Sapp about this. He's like, I never came out of the game.
Yeah.
Brad
Yeah.
Culpepper never came out of the game. Simeon Rice never came out of the game.
But Anthony Richardson does. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying,
He's
it's
tired.
like what? Why is Diaby coming out of the game? To
I
keep
don't
him
know.
fresh? I don't know. Aren't these professional athletes?
Well, as soft as training camp was, maybe they are a little tired.
They're not
Does
allowed to
Tristan
practice
Wirfs come out of the
anymore.
game?
Yeah.
Does Graham Barton? Why do the offensive linemen play every single snap, but the defensive linemen have to rotate? You ever think about that?
Well, it is a little bit harder to play defense. I will say that, but for
I
the
coached
most part,
D-line. Listen, I coached D-line. I played D-line in high school. I was really bad at it. Only had one sack. It was a gift to me. Did not earn it. I will admit that. But I understand the position, and I understand that training is way better now. Like conditioning, training methods, techniques, way better now than it was in the 90s.
I agree.
So why could Warren Sapp and Reagan Upshaw, Chidi Hanatu, and Brad Culpepper play every single snap?
Soft
And
society
these guys
we live in, Scotty. You know that it's soft. All right, listen. I got Brian Bradley waiting in the wings to talk some hockey. So tell everybody how we get all the great stuff
win
going.
last night for the
Wasn't that fun?
Fantastic. That was all OT winner. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can check us out tomorrow. We have our Pewter Report podcast at 4:00, and we have podcast 4:00 on Wednesday and Thursday at Pewter Report TV, our growing YouTube channel, 16,000 subscribers. So make sure you hit the subscribe button when you check it out. You can follow all of our coverage on pewterreport.com throughout this week as we lead into the Kansas City Chiefs game next Monday night. And you can also follow us on Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report. Thank you, guys.
They'll have a full review of Taylor Swift's appearances at KC Chiefs game.
Of course.
Josh Capo is breaking that down as we speak.
Thank you. Why not? Go Bolts.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
The great Scott Reynolds, fantastic stuff. All right, so we talk Bucs. Now let's talk Lightning with our good friend Brian Bradley, who is apparently joining us from Amalie Arena. It's no morning skate this morning. What are you doing over there, partner? Are you doing some tours?
No, just come down to the office today just to do a few things today before the team heads on the road. I think they've got a flight at 1:30 or something like that. But
all right. So they are skating.
I think Darren Radish is skating right behind me. He was the extra player for the game last night. But first of all, how's my sound? Okay.
You sound and look fabulous, my friend. You got your jacket there. The background is perfect with the ice and everything. I mean, this is like Francis Ford Coppola type stuff. The cinematic vibe you're giving right now is really good.
We need a little more of the Canadian flag up at the top of the picture, though. Let's get that more in the picture.
Yeah,
back
it's
there.
your home country.
Yeah.
Now, there you
There
are.
we go.
Oh, yeah, eh? That's looking good there. That's too much headroom.
That
though.
looks great, eh?
Yeah. Are they still cheering for Stamkos, by the way? Are they still standing and cheering for Stamkos? That ovation went on forever last night, as well it should.
Still here right now from last night, hiding, still cheering. But you know what? What a great game! What a great tribute to a guy who played for the organization for 16 years. You know, probably will be maybe the best player to play for them.
Yes.
What he's achieved, captain for a long time, 16 years here. Great tribute. You know what, John Franzone and all his crew, the Lightning, Jeff Finnick and Steve Griggs, man, give them a lot of credit. It was a lot of effort and time put into this. But, it was a great game, too. I mean, you know what, Stammer had 2 assists. And, we ended up winning on a Nick Paul goal. But it couldn't have been better. I mean, you know what, we win the game. Stammer's happy. I talked to his mom and dad before the game. They were here. So, it was just a really fun, emotional night for everybody.
How's the family doing? Stamkos said that the kids and the wife have adjusted nicely to Nashville. You talked to mom and dad. How is the whole family just dealing with the whole transition to Nashville?
Yeah, I guess the mom and dad are going to stay down here for a few months and maybe go back and forth. But
good idea.
They obviously like Nashville. I mean, it's a different adjustment from Tampa, Florida, obviously, but. I think at the end of his career, he's going to be back in Tampa for a long time. And I'm sure his jersey will be up in the rafters here, and I'm sure it'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, he's a great guy, great captain. Unfortunate how it happens, but that's what happens in sports.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to play their whole career in one city, and it's very hard to do that. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing.
Yeah, no question about it. And the question now is is this a better hockey team without Steven Stamkos? And that's not to put it on Stamkos at all, what happened the last couple of years. But I would have to say at 6-3, I'm watching Jake Gensel, and I know Coop will get mad at me for saying it's Gensel and Stamkos, but that's where the money went, right? Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest about that. That's where Stammer's money went. And Gensel had his 7th assist last night. He's been really, really good. And 5-on-5, this team is better. Now their special teams is not better. Their power play is not better. We're missing Stamkos on the power plays, no question about that. But I think in general, it's a better 5-on-5 team so far. It's early, though. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, JP. I mean, I think overall, like I said, I'm not going to take anything away from Steven Stamkos. I mean, what the organization and all the goals he scored for the team. But, Jake Gensel is a special player. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's got a lot of years left. I mean, the goal he set up last night to Nick Paul, that, not many guys can make that play. I mean, honestly, maybe 1 or 2, 3 guys on every team can do that. It was a clutch pass at the right time to score in overtime. So, you know what? I think at the end of the day, Jake Gensel's been a great addition to the team. He's great 5-on-5. He's really good defensively in his own zone. But I just think it's going to take a little bit of time for Point, Kucherov, and Gensel to gel. I mean, it's only been 8 games or 9 games. I think you got to give them 10 to 20 games. They haven't played together. They're feeling each other out. And we won last night. I mean, let's be honest with Kucherov didn't have a point, which is just amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had
first time this year.
Goal. I mean, the offside goal that he scored, where they scored the goal from Gensel, could have had another assist. But that was close. I watched the replay this morning. I didn't really get to see it on the TV, JP, up where we were last night.
Right.
I watched it this morning. Man, that is a questionable call. I mean, honestly,
I agree.
If that's an overtime goal in the playoffs, I'd be pissed because it's too tight. I mean, you could call it either way, and I don't know. But I actually thought, I thought Braden Point played a hell of a game again. You know what? He started off the season really good. The game against Las Vegas, I thought Braden Point was spectacular. Mm-hmm. And didn't have a point, but then went to a couple of games where he was just playing okay. I mean, going through the motions, getting a goal here and there. But I thought the game against Washington Saturday, unbelievable. And last night, another phenomenal game by Braden Point. I mean, he is skating in full speed. I mean, he's a threat every time he steps on the ice. I mean, the other teams are just like, what do you do? The kid's is so fast. He makes moves. And, it sets up. But I really like their line. And, Sorelli, Hagel, and Connor Geekie. I mean, that kid's going to score some goals. He's getting better every game. And, he had some chances last night after scoring his first goal Saturday against Washington. But I love the way he plays. And, you got to give kudos to Mitchell Chaffee, too. I mean, throw a great pass right up the middle. Mitchell walks in on goal, makes a great move, like forehand, backhand, top corner. But now he's got 2 goals in 2 games. But that's what we need. We need some secondary scoring. And then the other effect, the defense played solid. I liked our defense last night all the way through. And, Vazzy made big saves when he had it, just like Saturday night with a shutout. Vazzy played really good again. I thought Vazzy had about 3 or 4 big stops where we needed it.
Brian Bradley joining us live from Amalie Arena here. Look at that beautiful shot. Last night was interesting. You mentioned that goal, and so the Lightning are kind of dominating. They're up 3-0, you think. Then that goal comes off the board, which I agree with you. It's very similar to the call Saturday night that stood for the other team, Minnesota. I think it was Minnesota, yeah. So, but anyway, so you think you're up 3-0, and then you're not. And then they get 2 goals, so now it's tied. And you have a disastrous second period. You're outshot 13-4, outchanced 13-4. But, I think last year, this is where this team may have lost that game. Instead, this Lightning team came out and dominated the third period. They had so much zone time that third period. UC Saros is standing on his head. I think our guys missed some goals that, frankly, they should have buried. They had some great opportunities. Sorelli had one. Gensel had one. Connor Geekie had a couple that maybe he should have buried. But they kept plugging away and then finally got that overtime win. So coming back from that second period, I thought was really impressive from a mental standpoint. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you, JP, 100%. I mean, I thought we played really well in the first period. I mean, I think the game would have been over at 3-0.
Yeah.
Let's honest. I mean, if they don't disallow that goal, and then obviously Nashville comes back with Stamkos with a couple assists, but questionable call on Kucherov. But I thought in the third period we played really well. And then in overtime, actually, we didn't win the draw to start, and we were just hanging around. But then, we make, Gensel makes a great play to Nick Paul on the side of the net. I mean, that's just not an easy play. I mean, it's a great pass by. I thought he was going to shoot, and you know what? So did the goalie, and he made a phenomenal pass, and the puck's in the net. But it was a great evening for everybody here, honoring Steven Stamkos, a tribute we did. John Franzone and all the staff did a phenomenal job with it on the ice. Everybody was here. They were talking about it on TV. I could get texts from all across Canada, people watching it and stuff like that about Stamkos back in Tampa for his first time. So, and it was great. He had 2 assists and the Lightning won the game. That's even better.
Yeah. It was a great feeling in that arena. They with the ovation and everything for Stammer. And it couldn't have been easy for Stammer the whole day. I'm guessing, people think that's fun, but I don't know if it was much fun for Stammer coming back. What do you think?
Yeah,
is it hard?
I think it's mixed emotions. I mean, I think it would have started on the plane ride in. I mean, here's a guy who's been in his whole career for 16 years here as a captain for 12 years or something, or 10 years. Played his career since he was 18 years old, young kid. And then, now he's in Nashville. And I mean, on the plane ride down, I mean, you know what, you got to look at it. They circled this game a long, long, long time ago in the summer when we were going to play Nashville here. So everybody knew about it. People were around. Toronto reporters are coming in from Toronto, which you never normally do.
Right.
Trying to watch this game and the return of Steven Stamkos. So I think, the plane ride down, getting here, staying at the hotel, seeing his mom and dad. I guess the night before he went out to dinner with some of the players on the team. I mean, that would have been a fun experience. So for him to see all the guys, I mean, it had to be hard. It's never easy when you do it, especially with a reputation and a track record and 2-time Stanley Cup captain like Steven Stamkos. And you know what? Just a great ambassador for the game too. Awesome guy.
Yeah, I think, as the Lightning move forward now on a road trip, they'll start at Colorado, which is always a tough game. Even though Colorado struggled a little bit starting the season, I think they're 5-4 going into last night. Then you got Minnesota, then Winnipeg, who finally lost for the first time last night to the Maple Leafs, and then St. Louis. This is a tough roadie, and I don't think the Bolts played great on the last road trip, especially defensively. I think they gave up 5 goals each game. So what needs to be different on this roadie?
Yeah, you know what? We just have to play like we did at home. I mean, I agree with you, JP. I think on the last road trip when we went to Ottawa, Toronto, and then New Jersey, we played okay. I mean, we didn't play well in Ottawa or Toronto. And, went to New Jersey and won the game. But this is a tougher road trip to me.
Yeah,
you know what? I got Colorado. I mean, they started 0-3 and they peeled off 5 wins in a row, I think. And they lost last night to Chicago at home, I think. So, they're going to be pissed off on Wednesday night getting ready for the Lightning coming to town. Yep. So that's going to be a great game to watch tomorrow night, everybody here in Tampa, because they're coming off a loss to Chicago, which isn't good. So, the coaches and everybody's going to be hot. So we better be ready to go. And then we go to Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota is like the surprise team of the NHL. They're almost like kind of like the, maybe like Winnipeg, the Washington Commanders of football. Or, Chicago Bears. I mean, no one expected the Minnesota Wild to be right up there. And it's just like, some teams just come out and, it's just like, they're playing well. And then Winnipeg, I mean, they were 7 or 8-0?
8-0 going into last night,
8-0, and we play them Sunday afternoon in Winnipeg. That's not always an easy game. That's a tough building to play in, I can tell you that. Winnipeg, from the days I played, the crowd's noisy. It's a whiteout. It's just a wild crowd. And then go to St. Louis on Tuesday, which to me is probably our easiest game of the road trip. St. Louis on Tuesday, but they've been played pretty well. So, I mean, I'd love to sit here and say we want to go 4-0. That would be amazing, but probably not going to happen. I think we can go 3-1, but 2-2 it would be acceptable. Anything less than that's not acceptable. We need to go 500 on the road. to just maintain. 3-1, I think, would be a great road trip. But
Yeah.
I'll take 2-2.
All right. Well, it starts on Wednesday, I
Yeah,
believe.
tomorrow night.
Yep, in Colorado. All right, Brian, great stuff as always. You look fabulous, man. You look fabulous. The shot's amazing.
It's always great to talk to the famous Ron Burgundy right there. He is good.
Well, I must say, you're not as handsome as me, but you'll do. Yeah.
I loved it.
Nice.
You killed it at the rink. Did a great job. We'll see
Thanks,
you guys
man.
this week. Over and
All
out.
right. Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
Brian.
Great, Brian Bradley. Yeah, I had a lot of people come up with me at the game last night.
It looked great.
And they were like, "Oh my God, it was so." In fact, Steve Griggs, our CEO, he saw me. He just started laughing. He's like, "You did a great job with Ron Burgundy." I said, "Well, maybe we should have him on all the time.
Right.
Maybe it should just be Ron Burgundy." He's like, "No, we're good. We'll just maybe on Halloween."
Did you ever see the little, I don't know, I guess Will Ferrell did it, but it was Ron Burgundy trying out for ESPN when they first started the network.
Yes.
That was so great.
This will never work.
This will never work.
Sports 24 hours a day. Oh,
So great.
Great Knights of Columbus. This is going to be a disaster.
It's such a great character, man.
Am I live? I'm not live.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. So I've got all the clips from we record all the stuff that goes up on the Jumbotron. So should I post that so you guys can see it?
Absolutely, we should post all of that.
Should we play it on the show?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
All right, we'll get the clips and we'll play it. We can laugh.
Why not? So great.
It was pretty. I think it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was great.
I look like an idiot, but I think people love that.
That's the point.
That's the point,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's a farce.
And it was an authentic mustache.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't
still
wear-
have it.
Yeah.
I still got like I said last night, Ron Burgundy is gone, but the stash stays.
So that means
do you
Ron Burgundy's not really gone.
What do you think, ladies? Scotch. Yes, that was fun. We'll do it again. All right, quick break. When we come back, more scotch for my friend Tim.
Yes, definitely. I don't have any Fireball today, though.
Well, clearly we have to stock the fridge.
We have to.
Someone has misplayed their hand.
Yes,
Clearly.
I have.
It is unacceptable behavior here. All right, quick break. We are brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. The Lightning Report brought to you by those great folks. Medicine 3.0, as we like to call it. Stay healthy. Keep yourself healthy instead of just going to the doctor when you're sick. How about you get a doctor that keeps you healthy and gets your weight right, gets your hormones right and balanced with testosterone. Ladies also, hormone therapy as well. And concierge medicine is the way to go. And that's Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go to the website and learn more. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated.
With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best of the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, coming to you live from our new studio here, the Jeeves Law Group studio in beautiful South Tampa, which is not as beautiful as it normally is.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
Still piles of debris everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Reminding us of Hurricane Milton.
Oh, Milton.
Yeah. Well, we're brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road over there in St. Pete, not far from downtown Tampa, just 25-minute drive across the beautiful bridge, across the beautiful bay. And they have a new men's department there. They knocked down a wall and made it even bigger and better for you guys to check out all the new watches that they have there. All different brands from Tag to Breitling to Rolex to everything under the sun. Beautiful stuff over there that you can choose from. And why not buy yourself something, guys? You know, you go in there and you want to buy something for your lady, which is a good idea too. But also buy something for yourself. 3800 Overton Road, the Golden Diamond Source. By the way, a happy birthday to the most beautiful, smartest, most talented, most wonderful woman on the face of the earth. The great Shea Peterson, my daughter.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my bartender from last night, Jennifer.
No,
at the patio.
No, she doesn't quite meet that incredible description that I just did. Yes, the great Shea Peterson, beautiful 22. She's a big Tay-Tay fan, so it's Tay-Tay week, by the way.
Taylor Swift.
It's Taylor week. It's Swifty week as we head on out to Kansas City. By the way, we will have an hour-long pregame show, all Bucs stuff on MOR TV. We were going to go out there and do it live, but the NFL short-circuited us from doing the game on MOR TV.
As they do.
Rat bastards that they are. So we're not going to be live, but we're cooking up something fun for you guys. We got lots of great features, and that'll be on MOR TV from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So get in your chair early. We've got lots of great interviews with the guys, all the stuff coming out this week. And we got some fun kind of off the field one-on-one interviews that we did with a bunch of guys to find out where they like to spend their time, who their favorite artists are. I asked them all if they had front row tickets to any concert or any sporting event, where they want to go. Some very interesting answers that you might not think about. Yes.
Huh.
And it's funny because none of these football players want to go to a football game.
Of course.
No, they want to go. They like NBA. What else did they say? UFC. Or boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you could get tickets, and this is what I asked them, if I get front row tickets to any sporting event, past or present.
Oh.
Past or
Past or present.
Yeah, past and present. What would you want?
Wow.
Same with the concert. Same with concert. Front row tickets to any concert, past or present.
Okay. That's easier than sporting event for me.
Yeah.
I'd have to think long and hard about the sporting event. You know, any concert, past or present, I think
you got to go past.
Right, it'll be past. I mean, because I've seen some really good shows, right, in my day. All the greatest hair bands from the 80s and all that. I saw those, obviously.
I was never a hair band guy.
Oh, man, that's my favorite genre of music. That's why I hate grunge so much because it killed hair bands. F you Nirvana, by the way.
F you Nirvana.
But you know what? It's a toss up for me. I'm going anywhere that Elvis played circa 1964, 63, 64. I kind of feel like that was his prime.
So Elvis.
Or I will go anywhere in the 1940s that Frank Sinatra sang.
Oh, Blue Eyes.
Yes, dude, I love me some Sinatra.
That would be like Sinatra at the Garden. That would have been something.
Or if you go, I don't know if you consider this a concert, but I would love to go back and see the Rat Pack in Vegas, just doing their antics up on stage.
That would be fun.
When they were filming Ocean's 11, that would have been great.
My go-to, I've been a Springsteen fanatic all my life. It's waned a little bit in the past decade or so, just because, and the greatest shows I ever saw were Springsteen, and I saw him in the early. First time I think I saw him was 1980 in the Hollywood Sportatorium.
Oh wow!
And it was an unbelievable show. We were at the top of the rafters, and still it was just every ounce, just sweating from dancing and just like screaming out every word. But if I could go back to maybe one of his concerts at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, when he was, because his early stuff and it was the most raw and the most amazing stuff. The later stuff, the pop stuff, just awful in a lot of different ways. So the original back in the late 70s, mid 70s, Born to Run category might be where I'd go. Of course, I never saw the Stone. I've never seen the Stones. So like the Stones circa 1979, 80 would have been
right. I saw early 90s Rolling Stones.
But I think I would have to go. I think I might have to go because I never saw Queen.
Okay. Yeah, me neither.
Never saw Freddie Mercury and Queen in their heyday.
Right.
So I might go that.
Okay.
So there's some good ones though. There's some good ones. Present day,
Zeppelin in the early 70s.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant just at their peak.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I've seen Robert Plant countless times.
Yeah.
I saw Plant Page when they were touring together, and then I saw Coverdale Page when they were doing their thing. But it was cool seeing Robert Plant at the Bomb Factory in Dallas, down in Deep Ellum. This was probably 10 years ago.
Wow.
When he was touring with Alison Krauss, when they had their album, they made an album together.
Did they now?
Yeah, and it was really good.
I did not know
But
that.
dude, he broke out, and he knew he would. He always does. Broke out the Zeppelin stuff, and she was backing him up on a lot of the Zeppelin songs. And it was.
How was his voice? Is it still good?
It was good, man. I don't know about now, but it was still. I mean, it's not 25-year-old Robert Plant, obviously.
It was maybe the best rock and roll voice ever.
It has to be, right? I mean. Yeah, I mean, Freddie Mercury's voice was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
but I was never a big Queen. Like I love late Queen, like The Game. That was probably my favorite Queen album. But yeah, Plant was pretty good, man.
Watching Bohemian Rhapsody live would just be insane.
That would be cool.
Insane.
I used to love that song until Wayne's World killed it for me.
No, the song cannot be killed.
That
song cannot be killed.
I just got tired of hearing it every 5 minutes on the radio after it was in the Wayne's World movie. Like I loved it before that. Because you didn't hear it all the time on the radio.
Yeah, they brought it back. Yeah. I just love that scene in Bohemian Rhapsody where the executive goes, an 8-minute song will never work. Will never. Is that 8 minutes or is it longer?
Like 13. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Will not be played on the radio. It can't work. And then they just like walk out on the dude.
Yeah.
That's a great scene. So sporting event. So front row tickets to any sporting. We should be doing this in the summer, but what the hell?
Right.
This is what I asked the guys.
Yeah. Golly, man.
For me, sporting event would be past or present. I might go back to Berlin, 1936, and watch
Jesse Owens give the big middle finger to Hitler.
That would have been pretty spectacular. But I don't think we knew. I don't think anybody knew at that time how significant that was going to be.
No.
Just in terms of historical significance. And any of the Ali Frazier fights, can you imagine sitting front row watching that speed of Muhammad Ali in his prime and the power of Joe Frazier? I mean, that was just some of the greatest stuff of all time.
Right.
I mean, those guys beat the hell out of each other and went 15 rounds and just I mean, just some incredible Hearns and Hagler. So boxing, being in the front row of any of those incredible matches, that would be top with me. I don't know if I would be like football games, baseball games. Those particular. There have been some great games. I mean, I was at the 1982 Miami Dolphins San Diego Chargers game. Was that 82 or 81? Might have been 81. When Kellen Winslow. That was one of the greatest games of all time. I was at that game. And all my friends wanted to leave at halftime. I said, or before halftime, when they were at 24-0, I'm like, no, we're not leaving. We're staying till halftime at least. And then they do the hook and lateral, and the place is going bananas. So I was at that game. And I was also at the University of Miami upset of Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
In 1983, their first national championship. That was an insane football game. Miami won that one at the Orange Bowl.
Wow.
So I've been to some good ones.
I would have to go, if it's a sporting event, it would have to be a World Series. And
Larson's perfect game?
Man, that's, I mean, I'm thinking 50s. Anytime the Dodgers beat the Yankees, which, by the way, is about to happen again, I'm in. But I kind of would like to go back to, like, way early. Like, I'm thinking early 1900s, when the Cubs were dominating.
I thought you were going like the original Olympic Games.
No,
the Coliseum.
No.
They had Christian eating.
Dude, I'd probably be the one getting eaten. I don't know if I want to risk that. I'm pretty meaty these days.
Who won the gold medal in Christian eating? Christian sacrifice. I don't know.
I guess Christian sacrificing. No, I'd probably go back and watch. I want to watch the Cubs win a World Series, and I have no relation to the Cubs. I really don't give a crap about the Cubs, but from the sport. Loving baseball like I do and old-timey baseball. I mean, the people forget the Cubs. Well, they don't forget because nobody was around back then. But, the Cubs dominated World Series back in the early part of the
or the Yankees,
century.
Babe Ruth Yankees, the 27 Yankees.
27 Yankees, maybe the greatest team of all time, right?
Yeah.
Then they beat, the Pirates in the World, swept the Pirates in the World Series that year. I mean, that would be pretty cool to see. But it would have to be some old... Yeah. Or maybe going back and watching Babe Ruth pitch for the Red Sox.
Ooh.
That might be kind of cool.
It's going to be cool. Nathan Elliott says, sporting events, Bulls versus Pistons when the Bulls took over. Yeah. Tyson's versus Spinks. But those were just mismatches.
And they only lasted 20 seconds.
Yeah, so.
Short.
Ali versus Frazier. Yeah, Super Bowl III.
Yeah, Jets over Colts.
Jets over Colts. That would be a good one. Absolutely. I'd love to go back to experience peak 1980s. Hulk Hogan, says Lonnie Wilkins. Peak 1980s.
Oh, my God. The Hulkster.
Rick says present day, any act preceding the Yankees being swept at home. He's a Yankee hater. We're going to see the Yankees get swept, that's for sure. Van Halen, 1984, and yes, Queen, Live Aid, 1985.
Yeah, I saw that tour. I saw Van Halen in 85 when they were on that tour.
So I saw Van Halen for the first time in at Cal Jam 2 or 3. It was on Ontario Motor Speedway when I was living out. That lineup was. I'll have to pull that up. The lineup was unbelievable.
Speedway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ted, every. I mean, this was one of the first big music festivals.
So my experience with Van Halen 1984 tour, they were at Texas Stadium, and NXS opened for them, which was great. NXS was great. Early 80s NXS was just outstanding. And NXS played for like 2 hours as the opening act at Texas Stadium. It was great. By the time Van Halen hit the stage, David Lee Roth was so drunk he couldn't remember lyrics. He couldn't,
a lot of that. Yeah.
He couldn't finish a song, and the crowd booed them off the stage. NXS had to come back out on stage to play another hour or so, and we all got refunds.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
And then they came back. Van Halen ended up coming back, I think, New Year's, and play a free concert out in Reunion Park for everybody to make up for it.
All right, listen to this. Cal Jam 2, Ontario Motor Speedway, March 18th, 1978.
Ooh.
I was there. 350,000 people. Musical acts featured Aerosmith.
Uh-huh. Ooh, prime Aerosmith, too.
Prime Aerosmith,
Yeah.
Steven Tyler. They crushed it. Foreigner.
Love Foreigner.
Dirty White Boy.
Yeah.
Heart. Ed and Mary Wilson.
Give me either 70s Wilson sister.
Oh, yes. Mahogany Rush.
Wow.
Yeah, remember that? Dave Mason.
Great.
Rubicon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby. Santana. Carlos Santana was
in his
so
prime.
good.
Yeah.
I remember watching Carlos. That's when I can see that in my, like, he was so freaking good. Bob Welch.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent, if I remember this correctly.
Cat scratch fever.
Yeah. Ted Nugent, like, came from the press box on a guide wire.
Oh, my God.
Down to the stage. It had to be, God, I don't know, 200 yards and high, too.
I love Ted
They put
Nugent,
this is 1978. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on a wire, and we're going to buckle you in and head you down to the stage, and he's playing Wango Tango. Might have been
his idea.
Wango Tango.
Dude, he is nuts, man. He is awesome, though.
And he came, and like, I remember the landing was probably not as they'd
Right.
prepared.
I can only imagine. What could go wrong?
Yeah, so that was one hell of a concert. Yeah, there was a lot going on at that particular time.
Lonnie
Oh,
said
God, this
early
is-
90s Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yeah, any Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh yeah, I think I saw them back in the early '90s. Yeah, Tom Petty.
Yeah, me
very
too.
good. Anything else, there? Rick, not a Springsteen fan. F you, Bruce Obama, Springsteen,
Apparently not.
Led Zeppelin, my man.
I get it, but I can separate, for the most part, I can separate my politics and my music. Because if I'm going to put politics in my music, there's a lot of people I can't listen to, and I can't do that.
Thomas Casper says early '70s Queen, Van Halen, and Kiss. You were deaf at the middle.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like I never got into the Kiss thing. Never got into the Kiss.
To me,
thing.
they were just a gimmick. You know?
That's totally the same.
You know what? I think I've told you this before. You know what me and Johnny's favorite thing to go see in Dallas is these days?
What?
Mini Kiss.
Mini Kiss?
They're little people that dress up like Kiss and go play Kiss songs as like a cover band.
They do that?
They're called Mini Kiss. I swear, it's a thing.
The what do they call it now? Dwarf wrestling. They have it at the patio.
Well, we still call it midget wrestling in Dallas, and they do it all the time. We go see that all the time.
We can call
too.
it midget wrestling.
I think
here.
we can, right?
They don't care.
They
The
don't
midgets
care.
don't care.
It's everybody else that cares.
Right. They don't care. They just say pay me.
Well,
Pay
call
me.
me whatever you want. Just pay me.
Just pay me. Yeah. What else? How good is it to have Brian Badley in the community? It's awesome, Donald Vesey. Thank you
Yeah.
for jumping in here. It's awesome. And I tell you, that dude works it. Every game, he sits up with his lovely wife, Carrie, in the Channel Club, but he goes off like every intermission, and he's working all the suites and go walking around, and he's a great, takes trips with it, always visiting with the clients, because Brian is such a regular dude, man.
Yeah.
He's just such a nice guy, regular dude, hockey guy. Have a beer with you, just as nice as he appears on this show.
Yeah.
And his wife is wonderful, and he sits up there, and everybody comes up and they take pictures, and he could not be any nicer. The dude is awesome. James says, "Thanks for making my day, guys. I guess the Bucs are effed." Here's the thing about that. We said that last year when they were 4-7, and I was like, "They're effed. They're done." Bowles is toast at the end of the year. If they don't make the playoffs, he's done. And we forget that they went to Carolina and won 9-0, and Carolina had 2 touchdowns called back in that game. They very, very easily, and if they lose that game, Bowles is fired.
Yeah, I think so. We talked about it. Yeah.
Bowles would have been fired. No question about it. So he comes back, and you full credit for winning that game and then winning the playoff game. Just
Finished the season 5-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so can it happen again? Yeah. It sure can. He just showed you he can do it.
But last year you didn't have a Kirk Cousins led Atlanta either to deal with.
That is absolutely true. And does Kirk Cousins get better? Well, the problem is he's been mediocre against everybody else except the Bucs. I mean, mediocre. They got drubbed by Seattle. So I look at their schedule and I say, even though they whooped the Bucs, I'm like, well, I don't see them, what are they going to go 6-3?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. If they go 6-3, the Bucs have to go 8-1.
Right.
And that ain't happening.
Doesn't
So
look like it.
they have to go 5-4, and the Bucs have to go 7-2.
Right.
Because they got to beat them. They're essentially 2 games behind. So is that going to happen? Do the Bucs get a wild card with 10 wins? It'll come down to a tiebreaker, and now they have, they have a tiebreaker over Washington. but I think Washington's going to win that division.
Oh, for sure. Well, man, Philly's getting hot.
Philly's getting hot.
Philly's getting hot.
Philly's getting hot. So,
but I mean, Washington should at least be a wild card team. You would think there's
but
one
if
of your
they're
wild card
if they're tied with the Bucs have the tiebreaker.
They have the tiebreaker now. Yeah, you're right.
And I think the tiebreaker with the 49ers might be big too. If they got if they can go to San Francisco and get the 49ers are here, right?
Yeah.
So they can get that win. So all is not lost, but you just at this point you got how you fixing the defense.
It's a tough road, man.
I think Jason Light has to go out and make moves. I think he's got to go find a linebacker, and I think a linebacker, an edge rusher. I know this sounds pie in the sky, but there's I saw a linebacker move the other day. There's guys out there.
Kansas City's making moves.
Yeah, Kansas City's making moves.
And I tell you this before.
What it tells me is I think is that the Bucs feel that they're a year away, and it would be a waste to waste draft capital. Which I get.
Before the Browns inexplicably beat the Ravens on Sunday, with Jameis Winston, I thought the Browns were going to start selling.
Yeah,
edge rusher Zadarius Smith would be the first guy to go, and he would be a great fit for the Bucs.
Yes, he would.
But now I think maybe the Browns are like, well, let's just wait and see. I mean,
maybe Jameis can resurrect us.
2-6 though. But you never know, man.
It's so funny, Jameis, but maybe it's turning for him. He throws a pick to Kyle Hamilton, who just dropped it. Next play, he throws a touchdown pass.
And that would have been the game.
End of the game. It's funny how the narrative changes just because he barely dropped that ball. He had like 6 chances to catch it
right in the hand,
and it was a terrible throw.
It was so bad,
and that's Jameis. Terrible throw, and then the next one is a deep ball just right in the bread basket.
So inconsistent, right?
Yeah,
kind of like Baker.
But that's that's
like
what
Dak.
you get. Yeah. You get a lot of that, but listen, I'd rather have the quarterback. I'd rather have a gunslinger than a check down Charlie any day.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think you got to throw the ball down the field to win games. I think Baker knows that, and he has to take some chances. And
and you got to let him.
You got to let him.
Liam Cohen, you can't say, look, let's taper it back a little bit. You just got to let Baker be Baker, right?
With this defense, you got to take chances.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll take a break. When we come back, TJ Rives will be joining us. We'll get his thoughts on all things Buccaneers. We'll hit a little bit of the Rays. I think people are like, what's going on with the Rays? We've had a couple questions about that. So we'll do that. We are brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Man, you got to get that flood insurance. Only 18% of people in Florida have it. And just because you live in a zone that doesn't normally flood, as we saw, it can flood. Get it. 813-877-7799, and before it goes up, because it's going to go up. So make that call. Tell them JP sent you, 813-877-7799, and get your flood insurance. Also, your business insurance. Heck, have them shop your homeowners and auto while you're there. Why not? Save lots of money. Great customer service at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. And now we're right next door to Italiano Insurance. We'll go see Jeff.
Them on the way here.
Yeah, we'll go see Jeff and the crew over there. Yeah. All right, back at 3 with TJ.
We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking looking for a few golf tips or golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go! Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Hey, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, emanating from our new studio here in beautiful South Tampa.
Yes.
How about that? Good to be back in the friendly confines here with the great IndyCar Tim, who is gracious enough to travel to this wonderful state and help us set up.
Falling in love quickly with the city, JP.
Yeah.
And several of its female residents.
Yes, and they will love you back.
I've
They will
noticed.
love you back. And we bring in the handsome, the debonair, iconic,
always
handsome,
the segues with me.
debonair, iconic voice of
Tim Ham is in the 813. He's
That's
in the
baby.
house with you. Where was my invite to be at the studio today? But that's okay.
Well, you want to join us for dinner at Cafe Paradiso tonight?
I am unfortunately not available as today goes on. I'll take a rain check on that. But brother
Yes,
Ham, good to have you in the Tampa
Thank you,
Bay
sir.
area.
Thank
here
you.
hanging out at the FanStream digs.
Yeah.
We tried to keep it low profile because we didn't want the sheriff
understand.
showing up with all the summons and the.
It's been a while since I've been to Florida.
They've been
I'm not
waiting for him to come to Florida to get served.
Are there any outstanding things that we need to know about with you being back in town? And we got JP's got legal sponsors on the show that we might have to hit up.
I mean, we're in a lawyer's office
Jeeves,
right now.
We're in the Jeeves Law Group studio right now as we speak. Yes.
Outstanding. If you need consultation, just go across the hall.
It's beautiful. We could just open the door and yell, "Hey, Scott, come here.
Help.
Well,
The sheriffs are at the door."
Sorry that I'm a little delayed today, and I know you've got to go here in a few minutes. I've not been able to hear the show.
I know you're working doing your Bet US.
Bet US's college basketball show is back. For some reason, they either like what I do or they can't find anybody else to come and host with all of their.
Oh, you're the best.
You're good at what you do.
So that show is a Monday through Friday show starting next Monday, but we just did the future show where we're looking at different plays. I got done as quickly as I could. I did not. What a neat thing. First of all, I got to see the Lightning game with the Predators last night, which is a rarity because of this whole ongoing thing with what is now the FanDuel Sports Network instead of Bally's. We can't see the Lightning games like the Rays games or the Magic games. But we got to see that game last night, and what a neat tribute. I know you were there. I know you've been sharing about that this morning. But I will say this, because the 16-year-old twins were watching. I mean, one of them's going, why is he not on our team anymore? She's like catching up in the present NHL. And I said, this is the important phrase, and it's true, because he chose to leave. Now, we can argue about the reasons why he chose to leave and more money and an agent involved in a different situation. So the tribute last night was neat. They won the game in overtime. But at this point now, Steven Stamkos chose to leave. Goodbye. Go play for Nashville, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And if there's criticism of you, you're now playing for the Predators. We care more about the Lightning. That's my at least anyway. You did that tribute. I know there's a lot of sentimental stuff with him and winning the cup and being the captain. But I think I've said it twice. He chose to leave. They made him an offer to stay, and he chose to leave. Good luck with that situation. We're on with the Bolts. I just thought I would get that off my chest in the remaining moments here.
And I heard that sentiment a couple times last night, but the fans welcomed him back, and he'll always be the captain. He'll always be our captain. You know, even though Victor's our captain now, he'll be our captain. That's just the way it's going to be.
The number will be retired in the rafters.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to make some room.
I'm thinking there'll be a statue, and hopefully it'll be better than Dwayne. I mean, don't get the guy who did the Dwayne Wade statue. We do not hire that dude.
But, between Hedman and him and Kucherov and Vasilevsky, you got to make some room in the rafters for some numbers eventually that will be up there with what they've done.
JP Peterson.
JP Peterson. JP's always on the video board up in the rafters.
JP Burgundy. JP Burgundy will be retired. But
in any event, there's a little hockey talk, and we're excited about the hockey season. And I know we got Buccaneers, and we're trying to sort out what's going on. And you've been talking about this. You and I talked about it after the game on Sunday. Defensively, this team has got to get their act together. They have to. I'm not revealing a nuclear secret. They have to.
Well, I always like to key in on your special access to the field. And one of the things you can see that maybe we don't see in here as well is the stuff that Todd's talking about: miscommunication, lack of concentration. Like, I love being down on the field sometimes because you can see the body language from the players after, when they start like looking at the other guy. Didn't you have him? I thought you had him. I thought you had him.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that going on.
And to your point, way too much of that these last few weeks of guys looking at each other like, you're supposed to have him. No, you're supposed to have him. And that's not good, especially on the heels of the Monday night game with the Ravens to come back 6 days later. And you've still got people running wide open against the defense over the middle or down the field. And guys are looking at each other after the play. They've got to get that cleaned up. Again, this is not a nuclear secret, but there's only one of two ways that you get better against the pass. Either you get after the quarterback better, which they're not doing with the front four and the outside rush, or you cover better. If you're not getting there with the rush, this just into the newsroom, and you're not covering in the back end, you get giving up 72 points in 2 games. Yeah. You get giving up 800 yards and 8 touchdowns to Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry. That's not good. I mean, that's not acceptable to have that. So they've got to improve that. It will not be easy against Mahomes and the Chiefs. We know that. But we're looking for better communication, better pass rush, et cetera. That's got to improve for the back half of the season. I mean, my Lord, JP, for so many years, this, we talked about defense with Sapp and Brooks. Remember Lynch, Barber. Can they score at all with Dilfer and Alstad and Warwick Dunn and Riedel Anthony? They couldn't score in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Now we got the opposite. You got arguably one of the best offenses in the league, the number one offense on third down, the number one offense in goal-to-go situation touchdowns. Baker Mayfield has thrown more touchdowns than any other quarterback. And now we can't stop people.
Right.
I mean, it's just strange. It's strange how it's all come full circle like 25 years later. Now you're talking about a defense that can't stop people.
Does it get better? We saw this happen last year at 4-7, that they went on a roll. And we were saying the same things last year we're saying now. How does this defense going to get better? How is Todd Bowles going to make this defense better? Because they were getting torched last year at midway through the season. And, lo and behold, they found something. And they ripped off 6 of 7 and went into the playoffs and beat a Philadelphia team that was reeling. So we remember that. Can they repeat that? Their offense is better.
You hope that they can, But at the same time, you've got to get some things corrected, especially in the middle of the defense where KJ Britt is. I know we've been talking about this and going round and round. Either he's got to play better or they've got to try something else in the middle of the defense.
Exactly.
I know it said on the tackle sheet that he had 10 tackles on Sunday, but that doesn't tell the whole story.
No.
In pass coverage and when one-on-one, they've got to be better in the middle of the defense. They got to win on the outside pass rush. The answer is yes. There's hope that they can be better. They're about to play two really good teams again, but then and that is Kansas City and San Francisco at home. But then after the bye, the schedule opens up with one soft team after another. Sorry, Timmy, your Cowboys are in that group. The Giants, did you get a load of them again last night on Monday Night Football?
Awful.
That's winnable.
Awful.
Even in New York, Carolina twice. New
Saints.
Orleans at the end of the year at home. You have
The Raiders.
winnable-
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Where's the world beater out of any of those teams after the
Chargers. Chargers look good.
Chargers
that's
are
gonna be a tough
good.
trip. Yeah.
Okay, so that will be. But
That's
a winnable games.
So you look at the Falcons' schedule and the Bucs' schedule. They're very similar, by the way. Obviously, they play the same division. But you look at it down the way, and you say, okay, so if the Falcons go 6-3 in their final 9, you got to go 7-1.
That's right.
7-2.
Right.
So can the Bucs do that? I think they can. I think they can go 7-2. They'll be favored probably in 7 of those games.
Right
but
there.
that's a tough. To what we're seeing right now. I mean, you're going to ask this defense to win 7 games. Okay, well, the offense must be scoring 45 points a game then to do it. So but things change in this league. How do they change? Does Jason Light go out and get a linebacker, an edge rusher, and a wide receiver? Probably not. Does he get any one of those 3? I'd like to see him make some moves, but I do think that's a possibility.
Pass rusher, maybe, if you're asking me on the wish list to go get somebody else.
Edge rusher, inside linebacker.
As an edge rusher.
Experienced receiver. Yep.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what they elect to do. I know you got to roll here in a moment or two, but
no, I got some time. If you got some time,
Yeah, we started like 20 minutes late.
Whatever you need.
we started late in our new digs here. We're still working out the bugs.
We're trying to get everything going here on this. But look, I think you make a great point. I'm always in here for optimism that there were a lot of people at this time back 12 months ago when you lost the creamsicle game to Detroit and you lost a couple of other games that were saying this is over with. Tank the season, fire Todd Bowles, fire everybody into the sun, fire Jason Light into the sun, fire Baker Mayfield into the sun. Look how it worked out.
Right.
Is the point. And by the way, kudos. It's not everything, but kudos to Liam Cohen with that game plan last week.
It was awesome.
And working with what he has. Be excited for what this team can still do with the weapons it has. And Mike Evans is not out for the year. I'm not saying that he's going to play against San Francisco, but I was told he may see what he can do some after the Chiefs game, and it's probably after the bye to be safe with the hamstring. So you're going to get him back, is my point, as a big-time weapon. So now let's see what this looks like, where you feature Otten a little more, you feature backs out of the backfield a little more.
Sean Tucker a little bit more.
Yep. And you had plays to Jalen McMillan. I mean, honestly, Baker is probably sitting here on Tuesday morning going, that's 2 throws where I got one that I zing behind him when he's wide open, and I overthrow him when he's got the guy beat for a touchdown, both in that instance to the rookie. So you still have some possibilities here to do damage with this offense. Lots of talent. We'll see.
So I've got a question for you, TJ, being at the game on Sunday, and I apologize if I'm beating a dead horse here because I don't know if you guys have talked about it before today. I'd like some more information on the Kyle Pitts touchdown that wasn't a touchdown. How much backlash was there in the stadium over that, and why didn't you guys react like Texas Longhorns fans and start throwing crap onto the field? Because it clearly was not a touchdown.
Well,
and also, how do we not have pylon cams in an NFL stadium in 2024?
Amen. It should be mandatory, and the Bucs should be leading the charge, screaming.
I thought
at
it
the
was. I had no idea that wasn't.
And they did not have them in either end zone. And JP, that was the number 2 Fox crew, production-wise and with the announcers, to not have the pylon cams. And again,
not production-wise. I was told by some of the techs there that this was not the usual number 2 production crew.
Okay,
so
fine.
they didn't have the.
But the NFL should mandate it, which is Tim's point.
Absolutely.
And I was saying this on the Nothing But Bucs
100%.
podcast. it should be mandatory that those networks have to pay for the technology and have it there. Again, the shout out is to our colleague Sean Berry, who was down there, the Fox 13 reporter photographer, because there's the still from his video, and you can see it's a great look. The ball is out before the goal line. The problem is they did not have that look in New York. The look they had was from behind that you were seeing on TV. And the word I keep using is inexcusable. It's inexcusable not to have those pylon cams right down the line. Would that alone have won the game Sunday? No. But that's a huge momentum moment where you're up 14-7, and that's a fumble. He got the ball out. It rolled out of the end zone. It's the Bucs ball at the 20.
Yeah.
So, yes, I agree with you, Timmy, that they've got the technology. They've got hundreds of millions of dollars flowing through those television networks for all the technology they have. You have to order. The NFL has to order every network, every game. I mean, I brought this back to the NHL. At every game in every arena, there's the goal line technology with the cameras above both goals at both ends.
Yep.
In the NBA, there's shot clock technology. Timmy, you got the Mavericks in the NBA, where the red light lights up on the backboard in every arena at both ends. They don't say to Sacramento or to New Orleans, it's okay if you don't have the backboard technology in the NBA. Winnipeg, you and Utah and the Carolina Hurricanes, you don't have to have the goal line technology in your games. It's mandatory. It's there for all of them.
And it's not that expensive. It's cheap, actually. It's really cheap compared to
the third party.
The camera, the Sky Cam. You know how much that thing costs to set up? It takes hours to set it up and take it down.
Truck.
I know.
It's own truck.
Pylon cams are nothing, like zero.
I'm thinking about getting pylon cams for the studio.
You need them.
And I got more proof here because I did some exhaustive research in this game. I went down to the crowd at halftime and found the people right on the goal line that saw it with their own two eyes, and I interviewed them. I think if I have it right here. Yeah,
man on the scene interview.
The two drunk guys.
Two drunk guys even saw.
That's my buddy Keith and Spanky.
Keith and Spanky saw it.
Keith and Spanky, shout out to Keith and Spanky. And they were like,
if only they had striped shirts and could have gone down there and made the call. But
man, they were completely hammered, but they had much better view than they saw it and the officials didn't.
And again, I understand that in the command center in New York, they did not have a good enough look. And so their cop out is you got to stay with the call on the field, which is fumble. But why did they not have the pylon look is the point.
Do you see where the ref is on that play? He's standing on the pylon.
About the pylon.
He or her. I don't know if it was he or her. Not that it matters.
It was a he. Yeah. I've seen him in the video.
Yeah, he's right there. He's 4 yards away.
It's bang, bang, and that's why you have slow-mo replay. And
make the call. Make the call, you coward. You coward, make the call. And on the next play, this is my favorite call of the year, actually. The next play from scrimmage, they call Payne Durham for a chop block. Unfortunately, he whiffed on the block. And you can hear Baker Mayfield through the on-field mic, he never touched him.
Yes.
How do you get called for a block when you whiff on the block?
Yep. And so,
he intended to roll block the guy, but he's so bad that he whiffed, but we're still going to call it.
He missed Judon. He missed him completely.
That's a huge call because it was like a 20-yard gain, and now you're back at your own 10 instead of being at the 40.
It was intent.
But what was the intent?
Come on, the NFL, seriously. This is a joke. You got to have more credibility than this as a league.
Here's Pandora's box, and I know you got to go in a minute. We have this replay assist. We have replay assist telling the referee in his ear, nope, pick that flag up. No,
pick it up. He never touched him.
And so why do we have replay assist for some things but not for other things where they can radio down to the referee and go, yeah, he never touched him. Pick the flag up.
Pick it up.
So maybe we're headed to that at some point. But the bottom line is, and I know you're not saying this, the officials didn't beat the Buccaneers on Sunday. The inability to stop the Falcons over and over again.
Agreed.
And your own turnovers in the second half, Baker Mayfield with a couple more passes he'd like to have back. That's what cost you. Clean it up, play a little better defense, and let's see what it looks like on Monday night. Now, I need to arrange scheduling with you live on the fly. Nothing like producing the show on the fly.
Yes,
I am not going to be available next Tuesday for a myriad of reasons, including the country in more than likely complete chaos and upheaval because that's election day.
Yeah.
Are you
planning on rioting?
No.
Tuesday?
Would you like me on Monday to join you from Kansas City in the preview mode and talk a little Bucs? If I can work it in the final 10 minutes of the show after the college basketball show, I will try to be on with you from KC on Monday.
Can you get Tay-Tay? Can you get Tay-Tay?
I don't know that she'll be on with us. We'll make the effort.
All right.
But from Kansas City, I will be with you on Monday because I'm not available, unfortunately, on Tuesday for a myriad of different reasons. So
are you leaving the country depending on how things turn out?
No.
Well, there may not be a country after Tuesday.
We'll just all hang in there together. But the chaos of get back from Kansas City, Buccaneer podcast that I have to do, live college basketball show, plus an appointment, plus something else after that. I can't make it work Tuesday, but I will be with you Monday from KC. If you want that, I am here for you on the JP Peterson Show.
You see your friend Paul Stewart here is trying to get you divorced.
There he is.
TJ, next Tuesday we'll be waking up with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Gross.
Hey, look, there's a lot of belief that she might not stay in the country, I guess, for a little while if this doesn't go the way that she wants here on all this. So who knows? The Swifties,
everybody's leaving.
What is it? What's Beyonce's? The Beehive or whatever.
The Beehive. Very nice.
Yeah, the Beehive. The Swifties.
Forgot she existed.
They may all.
I'm thinking if I wear the Kelsey mustache, because I was planning on going to KC. This was my whole plan, that she might mistake me.
All right.
For Taylor. I mean for Kelsey, and then
stay tuned on that. All right. So I'm here. I'm here with you next Monday.
Yes.
I love the new digs.
Before the world
Timmy,
ends.
good to have you. How long are you in the 813/727?
Flying out Wednesday tomorrow afternoon.
All right. Well, we might have to break bread at some point if we can make it work.
Yeah.
You guys behave.
All right, TJ. Thanks, buddy.
Always good to be with you, and let's see what happens with the Buccaneers in KC and with everything else going on. Be well.
Yes, sir.
Right. Beautiful.
There he goes.
That's our good friend Paul Stewart. He just keeps chiming in here. So for Stamkos and Sergachev, we got Moser, Geeky, McDonough, Gensel. Look at Paul. Good to have you in there. All right, TJ. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks, buddy. The great TJ Reeves right there. All right, that'll do this hideous show that we put together here today.
I thought it was pretty good.
I think it was good. Our first inaugural broadcast. It's kind of a soft opening.
It is.
It's a soft opening.
Because we're not quite done yet.
No, we've got to get all the monitors in here and all the cool stuff, all the bells and whistles, so we can bring you guys the quality entertainment that you so richly deserve.
Yes, that you require of us.
Thanks to Scott Reynolds, thanks to Brian Bradley and TJ Reeves, and of course IndyCar Tim, who did a great job. I'm the one who made the stools, though. I put the stools together painstakingly.
You see, I'm standing up now. I was a little worried.
I'm still waiting to get my shelf down here, by the way. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.